Hey everyone, it's Chrissy from Chrissy's Beautiful Life here for 12 Days of Spring with Daisy and Chrissy. We are on to 5 Easter eggs, and I love this one. This is a fun one, although let me tell you, it was a journey. It took me a while to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, but I have this Easter egg pattern paper. This is from Echo Park. I think maybe a summer or two ago. I think it's somewhat of a newer pattern paper, but it has like a special coating on the eggs so that they're like shimmery type, I don't know, whatever coating they use to make the paper kind of laminate. And I'm going to cut out 6 of them because I'm not exactly sure which ones I'm going to use at first. I always tend to go towards teals. You all know that. But I wanted to make sure to get all the colors, with the exception of there's an orange one in there, and that one's not going to make it. So I'm looking here. I've got some photos from last Easter. This would have been Nora's first Easter, and I was kind of thinking that that's what I would do, is document her first Easter. But that photo there did not match with this piece of pattern paper, and for some reason I was dead stuck on using this geometric type teal colored paper. It worked, however, really well with the photo of Jackson, and that is his Easter photo for the year. So I decided to go ahead and play with that, basically thinking it's going to be a 1 photo layout, and then I'll just cluster the eggs in some fashion and go from there. I'm debating here like which ones I want to use. I had an issue because I didn't want to use 3 teal eggs and only 1 of each other color, but I didn't really like the other pink, like the 2 pinks on top, because one was medium and one was small, and I couldn't layer them correctly, and so I have 6 to play with though, so that's okay. So my next step here is to find the pattern paper, and I come across this, and it, I believe, is also Echo Park, if I'm recalling correctly. And it is the one where it's navy with plus signs, and the back of it has a bunch of different colored paint stripes, and it's very spring looking to me. It fit really well with the idea of an Easter layout. So I do go through all of the ones that I picked, but I'm going to come back to this one. And I am a big fan of navy because sometimes black is just too stark of a difference and it's not really what you're looking for, and I find navy is a really nice compromise. Sometimes white is too light and it's too plain, so to speak, and black is too stark. So navy is a very nice compromise in between the two of them. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut this. I think I do about enough to make a nice frame for that teal there, but I'm going to cut it as a full 12 strip there because I'm not sure what's going to happen. Like, I've got an idea that I want to use this paper, but I don't know where I'm taking it. And I went off camera to kind of play around. I was pretty stuck. The base of this layout, for some reason, took me such a long time to figure out, which is not a normal occurrence for me. So it was interesting. And what I end up doing is cutting the paper so that it's like a Instagram type square there, and then flipping it over so you can see the paint strips as well. And as I'm kind of playing around, I've decided that this is going to turn into a 2 photo layout because I want to layer this top photo of Jackson up at the top, and there was way too much white space to make this 1 photo. I don't have enough journaling to like even make the bottom spot just like a journaling spot with a title. So I went ahead and picked a photo of them together, and it's just going to turn into the Easter layout that goes into our family album. And then her single photo will be in her album first for her first Easter. And that's how I'm just going to justify it. It works for me. And I like it. So that's what I'm doing. So in order to kind of get the same vibe going on at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and I can't speak today, cut another strip, but I didn't like the paint strips on the bottom with this photo. It has just a little bit of a different tone to it, and it's too light, the paint strip, like the B side of this pattern paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the plus sign paper. I'm fine with that in 1 layer. I do end up backing both of the photos with a little line of white so that they help kind of stand out. And then I've layered the Easter egg, so there's 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top, and that's kind of the way they sit. It works really well. I happen to have this Project Life card just sitting on my desk, and I really liked the bright pink pop it brought, especially now that Nora's in the photo. And it says happy day, and I'm just going to cut it and put happy at the top there, so it says happy day, happy Easter. And at the bottom I will fussy cut out the word day, so it's down overlapping some of the eggs there. And so it becomes Happy Easter Day. And it's a basic title, but it kind of flowed, and I liked having that instead of figuring out where I was going to place another title, because that I had no idea. And then off camera, I went ahead and I gessoed everything to add just a little bit of mixed media. I am using obviously a piece of white cardstock here, and it's too plain. It needs a little jazzing up. So I'm using my two favorite sprays. These are the ones I use all the time. One is the See You in the Morning, and the other one is called Cotton Candy. And they're the lightest of the teal and the lightest of the pink you can get in shimmers. And I even went ahead and added some water, so it was even more light and very water colored and wet and everything. I wanted a really soft approach to this. I didn't want it to be overpowering, and I love the way it turned out. And that at the time was even too bright, so I went ahead and soaked it up, and that's perfect. And when it dries, it's even a little bit lighter, so that was exactly what I wanted. I do attempt to do the same thing with the pink here, but the pink, when you water it down, was a little too light. You couldn't really see it, so I will have to go ahead and do a couple coats with it so you can actually see the pink. And I'm really pleased with the way this turned out, and I am using a little tiny bag. You see that there? That I had Flair come in that bag, and it's the perfect for me. This is how I want to always do mixed media now. It's just enough that my fingertips place where I want the mixed media to go, and it's perfect. I love this little bag. So my new tip is, if you're new to mixed media, or if you only like a little bit like I do, so it's peeking out, use something small like that where you can really just make it go where you want it to go and not have a big mess, which can happen when you have too much plastic to play with. All right, so mixed media is dry. That's done. I'm liking this. Gonna relayer everything out. I'm still looking at this thinking it's too plain. Something's missing. I don't know what, but something isn't working. I go ahead and grab a big doily. These things are honking, but they're so pretty. And I use it to be the bottom layer. Just another kind of pop of something there, because it doesn't have that third layer like the top photo does, and I really like that. But now it's covered up all my pink, and I'm thinking about adding a border, so I'm gonna have to shift everything up just a little bit. And I don't know if I do this on camera or not, but I do end up adding a little bit more pink so it pokes through the fact that I've moved it up and all of that fun stuff. And then I'm going to use that piece of pattern paper right there, trim my white cardstock down so that you can see that teal. It is a completely different teal than what was in the colors of what I had already used, but it worked. I was okay with it. It kind of matched the geometric pattern I used for that very first layer. And I'm also taking this piece of ruffled fabric. This I got in my Secret Not Secret kit for February. And I'm going to go ahead, cut this in half, and use it as a little ruffle at the bottom for a little bit added just texture and something there. I thought it was fun and playful. You don't really see it, but I do like the little bit of dimension it adds. And I wasn't sure how I was going to use this little random piece of fabric I got in my kit, so I was happy to get at least half of it used up. And then I'm going to go ahead and go through all of my thickers and my stickers and look. Again, at this time, I have no idea. I'm thinking maybe I'll add a floral. I decide not to do that because I'm going to hold off and use these florals for another layout down the road. And the same thing with the butterflies. I don't want to touch the butterflies because you'll have to check out on day 11 why. Hint, hint. And that doesn't end up working, so I put that all away. And what I do end up finding here is, again, another piece of Project Life cards. So I'm now convinced that my goal for April is to get through my Project Life cards, because I don't have very many. I don't do Project Life. The cards are really pretty though. The ones I've saved are kind of the ones I've been hoarding. So my goal now is to just use them up. And so I found a couple. I'm going to use this one to help me journal and add those little banners to my photos. And my journaling it's pretty basic. It says the fact that this was Nora's first Easter. Jackson was so excited to help her through her basket and see what was in there and show her his stuff and all of that. He did a really good job. And so that was kind of what my journaling wraps up about. And these photos are just cute. She's still pretty new to him in these photos, so it was fun. I do add one of the bunnies from the Maggie Holmes collection from a year or so ago, her spring collection. And then here is that other Project Life card that says the word April. I'm just going to fussy cut out one side of it and tuck it to that photo of the two of them. I love that little added detail there. And I love that. So I'm thinking I'm done here. You're going to see me wave, but nope. I come back and I add some more. And then I think I'm done and you see me wave. And nope, I come back and I add some more. So that's the way this layout was. I kept thinking I was good and everything was fine. And then I wasn't actually satisfied with it. So I brought in some more. And then I went into my yellow ephemera bin that I have and added some yellow because I felt like there wasn't enough. And it was just a crazy layout. It took me, I think, 3.5 days to finish this layout in little chunks of time. So that's the way it works sometimes. I'm pleased with the final outcome, though. It's definitely a good Easter type layout. This really themey stuff like this, like documenting a holiday, especially when it's not Christmas, I find I kind of struggle with. So I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. I do end up adding a black line around the white versus the pattern paper there. I find that helps to kind of give it a nice definition. And so I go ahead and do that. And I really love the way that turned out. And that just about does it. You're going to see me add those little bits. I had, I think, a house and a few other little bits of ephemera. Go check out Daisy's take for today. Hers is really cute, so make sure you check that out. So it was really cute, and I'd love for you to go check her out and give her some love. I hope you're enjoying this series. Tomorrow will mark our halfway mark, so I always love these are fun. I really enjoy it, and of course getting to scrap with my scrappy bestie is always a big bonus for me. And we love to, we talk every day, so we always see every layout we create, but this one's fun to kind of compare because we're both doing the same themes. So again, you're just, like I said, seeing my final wrap up here. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a little funny, right? A little bit different. I struggled with this one, if you can't tell. But I'm happy with it. It was also done during that crazy week back at the beginning of April when Jackson was officially diagnosed. So that could have been a bit of it. Maybe a little bit of a funk going on. I wasn't maybe mentally prepared to scrap. That's probably definitely a decent part of it. So just showing you, counting those 5 eggs. I did manage to get those on the page, which was the point of it. And my last little touch is adding that yellow heart to that little piece up there. It's really hard to see. My lights are so bright, you don't really see it. All right, guys, I'm going to add the date, which was I think April 16th for Easter last year, and that's my final layout. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be back tomorrow with day number 6 of 12 Days of Spring. Bye!